fact that the right is becoming increasingly anti-Israel, especially online, the young Republicans, not the older ones. I think that there's a very, very lucrative market, and it's always people around 40 years old when they're like, all right, it's time for me, like I've been doing this for a while, whatever. I mean, if I, in 10 years, if I'm doing this, you can call me out on it. Like, I've been doing this for a while, but it's time for me to cash in, and the easiest way to cash in is to be a liberal that's on the center now and having conversations with Ben Shapiro and all.
He cashed in a long time ago. I mean, he made a ton of money selling Vox and
Paul Ryan.
He was a champion of Paul Ryan. I mean, I disagree with Paul Ryan, but he's a serious individual. Paul Ryan was never a serious individual. It was always a joke. So this is a role that Klein has had. I don't think Klein is going through a rebrand. I think what is happening is that the ground is shifting underneath him. He is staying exactly where he's been, always to give credence for certain sort of like center-right economic policies, or centrist, or however you want to describe it. But the ground is shifting underneath him, and I think that is
We knew that's who he was. The average person, he's now making overtures publicly to appeal to that
time. Listen, at that time, he was also publicly praising Paul Ryan. And it just didn't have the reaction. The ground is shifted, and he doesn't really realize it, and he's caught. And here is a clip of him and Ezra Klein, him and Ross Douthat. And Ezra is talking about like this moment in Democrat. And then what happens, there were two things I found fascinating about it. One is, this is the argument that I was having with Ezra Klein, that I wanted to have with him. The specifics of the housing situation in San Francisco. A couple essays on it. Because I don't know about the housing situation in San Francisco. I wanted to have the more general conversation that is impacting our politics. And listen to the way he frames this.
We need a team starting to make a move to
and it created so much energy.
I go back
20% capture on
a hair here, because he's basically talking about like why abundance as a such a splash. And we should be clear, it did very well. We should also be clear that tech money put 120 branding stuff Abundance
Fest. They had a festival. It wasn't a grassroots. It didn't come out of like the grassroots. It was top-down funded rich guys. That's the problem.
No. And I'm sure Israel was both helped by that, but also helped encourage that type of investment. And so, all credit due. But let's not pretend that this was some type of popular sort of like coalescing around these ideas. I'm sorry, that is not the case. Go ahead.
You ready for Twisted Tea Light? Just 110 calories. Twisted Tea Light. Keep it twisted.
After you lose an election like that, if you tell yourself it's existential and you lose, then it's not even clear how you return to sort of normal political alarm in that environment.
I think there's that. I think the loss of 2024 shattered the Democratic Party's confidence in its own politics.
What's the status
And
on
I
Point
just don't think
Texas?
that the new leadership, the new ideas have yet emerged. I mean,
Pause
one
it for 1
reason I
second.
think
I just
abundance-
keep it up there. Understand, like he didn't define exactly what politics were shattered.
And then
Like,
there was
like to us, what we see is like Chuck Schumer's politics, like Harris's politics of avoiding engaging with things. The politics that came out of the DNC convention and lasted through the campaign, as opposed to the politics of Tim Walz, right? I mean, that's what we think.
Yeah, it's active capture
Now,
at 30%.
he's not saying anything specific. It's
scratch
just
that.
a democratic, and I think
Yeah,
he
I've been
maintains
saying
this
for a while. I
vagueness
haven't sweeped any of
so
the
that
buildings. I've
at
just been
different
keeping
times in the course
pressure.
of the conversation
Just wait for
that
you
he's
guys to
having, and I don't
move
mean just
closer.
in this specific one,
Coming
he's
down the
able to
stairs. Watch
shift
your
as to
sectors,
what
watch
that
your sectors,
is.
guys.
All right, go ahead.
It's what a salesman.
Me pre-players and scouts.
And it created so much energy, which is more than I thought it was going to create, is because it dropped into a void. Here's the way I am thinking about where the Democratic Party is right now. There is a debate between, on the policy side, a liberal vision of policymaking and a populist version of policymaking.
Alright, let's move in and choke to the checkers so get your truffles and let's secure this space.
He's conflating, he's saying on the
Alright, let's
policy
move
side.
on. Let's get a pick out of the
There's
back.
a liberal version of
pick up
policy making
Morton.
and a populist
I'm here.
vision of policy making and power. Like, there's a lot of things are very, he's keeping things very nebulous here by saying, wait, are you talking about a theory of change? Are you talking about an assessment of power? Or are you just saying how we go about making policy? Because
It's not very fucking granular.
well, he's being vague on purpose because he wants to jam some stuff together. Go ahead.
The government isn't able to deliver, and our capacity.
No, go back. I'm sorry.
I think abundance did as well as it
Don't worry,
did as it
night
could.
I'm coming over for you guys.
And it created
Just
so
a
much
friendly
energy.
reminder, guys, if we
more than
could
I thought it was
just
gonna be.
clear any
Because
markers we have on the
dropped
maps at
into
the
a void.
moment, just try and keep
Here's
it
where I am
fresh, just so
thinking
the
about
map's
where
updated,
the
so we
Democratic
have,
Party is right now.
the visual of what's
There's
going on.
a debate
It's a little bit messy at the moment, I see a few
policy
markers
side,
in there.
a liberal vision of policymaking and a populist version of policymaking and power. Right? There's a problem that where the government isn't able to deliver, and our capacity, the state capacity is weakened, or it's a problem is that we have oligarchy
have,
and corporate
anybody
power,
running
and if we
supplies
could
at the
smash that oligarchy and smash the corporate power, we'd be able to do all the things we
Beautiful.
promised
Can you
people, right?
come over
But
to
then there's
main
a
forest,
split.
please?
Pause it right there. Okay.
Yeah, I think the
You
sniper
understand
back
that's the
up.
same thing. You understand that's the same thing. Like, in one hand, he's saying, we have a limited number of, well, it's the same thing because he's not being specific about something. Government does not exist in a vacuum. Government's ability to do things does not exist in a vacuum. Government power and capacity does not exist in a vacuum. We certainly have the shovels. We have the money, access to the money. We have the tanks. We have whatever it is we
I'm
need.
gonna hold here, at least until we got some
Something's
response.
inhibiting it. But he just says, is it a story of limited government capacity, or is it a story of like oligarchs are working on government? Well, that's the same thing. What he's not answering is, what is the limiting factor in his ideology? And he's not mentioning it because, of course, it's unions, it's environmentalists, it's poor people demanding, like, no asthma in these buildings and whatnot. And so it really isn't a question of whether state has capacity or not capacity, to the extent that in the populist version, the story goes that state capacity is limited because of wealthy interests that inhibit the government's capacity. Now, he pretends like they just are interested in the voodoo thing, but his story, other sort of like inhibitors of government capacity, but continue.
And I just want to add, because like that, what he's saying about how we fill the void with abundance, the book that we know had, and the festival that came with it, that had significant financial backing, is a deliberate way to steer the conversation from what has actually filled the void of an anemic Democratic Party leadership, of a party leadership that no one respects or listens to. And that has been the things like the Fight Oligarchy tour, and folks like Zoran Mamdani's campaign, and even a guy like Chris Van Hollen going and actually doing politics, going down to El Salvador. he's trying to rewrite the narrative about what has filled the void in the wake of the Trump administration 2.0.
There was a void of like, what's the establishment answer? There was none. I mean, that is in 2020. He did fill a void. It was just a narrower set of, it was a narrower, like, sort of like silo that was empty. There was no, sort of like DLC. There was no, blue, they filled that void.
Abundance is really, I've always looked at it as, based on what happened in 2020, which is Democrats got back into power, but there was no real thing from the center, so they had to start taking ideas from, like,
Scully, we've had a bit of a crash. Yeah, Mission Impossible, stay in your vehicle and stay spun up, bro. We got you.